Hello, everyone. Good evening and happy Thursday. So I've got Brittney Landrum here with me tonight, and we are so excited to bring you this training. Hopefully we won't have any technical difficulties this time. Um,
Kind of
so
makes it more.
yeah, exactly. You live and you learn. So we're going to start off. I think it will be good, Brittney, if we kind of go over a little bit about us and our stories. So I'll start and then let you go after. So I'm Erin Tweed. I am a presidential diamond with the It Works, and I got started a little over a year ago. Pretty much, through watching Alyssa Bilyeu on social media, and just kind of followed her journey. Really started interested in the products at first, and then one day she mentioned to me, have you ever thought about trying the products and making money? And I was like, dang, that really intrigued me. It kind of put that bug in my ear and I couldn't stop thinking about it. And so July 31st last year, I woke up and I was like, all right, girl, you got to tell me more. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just ready to do it. So something that day just told me to get started. And so we have, like I said, been with the company a little over a year. And I just went presidential last month. So I'm going to let Brittney share her story, and she will have some exciting news, I'm sure, this month.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Okay, so the reason why I feel like my story can be so important to some of you is that actually Alyssa also did contact me. Actually, she contacted me 4 months before I signed, and I told her no, okay? She just sent me a simple message saying, I think you'd be great, with It Works. And I said, no, thank you. I think I'm too shy and it's not for me. I'm now a triple diamond leader. So it's just insane that, I said no once. So don't get discouraged if people tell you no. So kind of fast forward. So actually I just hit my year mark this month. It's been crazy, but it's been absolute blessing. So I'm super excited.
Yes, I love it. And we are so excited to do this training tonight. We've got team growing pretty much everywhere. And I know we've got some viewers, I guess I should say, on watching us, that may not necessarily be on our team, but we're excited to share, kind of some tips and tricks that help us in the business. So what we're going to kind of cover tonight is some basic information, but I think it's always good, even if you've been in the business a year or 2 years, sometimes you just have to go back to basics and kind of regroup, sometimes refocus and figure out, what was I doing in the beginning that made me be successful? So that's kind of what Britt and I want to go over tonight. So we're going to talk about, when you are just getting started in the business, what are some things to be doing? First and foremost, I think Brittney and I do the same thing, with any new team member. It's really important to get them started right away, working their business. The first thing that I always recommend is going through the It Works You training, the training academy. And that's just a really good basic foundation to kind of get your bearings, get a little bit of information kind of across the board. It covers, from wrap parties to product information to steps to success, kind of covering just the basics so that way you have a little bit of a foundation to work on. The next thing that I always suggest is, making sure that you start posting right away. Some type of welcome post, it saying, hey, like I'm really excited about this new adventure that my family and I have started, and we're just really excited about these products. Check out my website, whatever. So I think that those are a couple things of what's, really, really important to get started. What else would you say is important, Britt?
2 things just to touch base on what you kind of said. And I actually, before this, I had gone back and I looked at my, my post in August of 2014 when I didn't have the so-called, paycheck to back me up,
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we all start at the exact same spot.
Yeah.
And it was because one of my first posts was a picture of my, we're married now, but he was my boyfriend at the time, and my son. And I claimed it. I said, I cannot wait to see what It Works is going to do for my family. So, don't be afraid to put it out there. Don't be afraid to be confident. The other thing that I wanted to mention on is, I know there's a little bit of delay on the business kits right now. The nice thing is those business kits are amazing, and they do have some cool stuff in them with the box of wraps, but there's nothing in that kit that you need to get started. You know, you don't need the kit to sign a loyal customer. You don't need the kit to post on Facebook. You don't need the kit to make your hundreds list. So I guess my advice is to truly get started. The one thing I like to tell the people that I sign or my team is, don't feel like you have to know everything. You will learn while you earn. So.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And so I really like that you said that about the kits, because I know sometimes we get a lot of messages from different people and they're like, I don't know where to start. It's like, start using social media, start using the tools and the information that you're given by your leaders or your sponsor or even the team page. All of that stuff is available for you. And so you don't want to be waiting, a week or so to get your kit. Like, you start right away. I really loved I was listening to the call with Jocelyn last night, and I really love what she said about kind of giving a guideline on posting, because this is something that I was like, oh, I just love that. She talks about how she really mixes the lifestyle post and the before and afters, but with her before and afters, because I know we want to be thoughtful in social media and making sure we're posting consistently. But she'll post a before and after, but then in between those two posts, she'll post a lifestyle post, whether it's about her family or, it doesn't even have to be It Works related, like stuff that's going on with her, even products that she's using that's not necessarily before and after, but that way she can kind of keep it, she's keeping it consistent, but she's also making sure that, she is working her business by putting before and after. So I just really love that tip, because it's something sometimes we're not sure of how many before and after should we post. And I think in this business, you just kind of figure out what works best for you. Some days are going to be crazier where you can't get on as much. So you're going to post 3 times, but I would always make sure that you're posting at least 3 times a day. What do you think has made, why is that so important? I know, being consistent and stuff, how have you seen that help your business?
For me, I think it's because, as we grow on Facebook, as we grow on Instagram, people have a choice of who they're going to join. And I feel like, to me, I don't think rank truly means anything. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to join whoever is consistent, passionate, and confident through their posts. So, yeah. If they have 7 people to pick from and they see one that posts, once a day or once a week, and another thing is, staying plugged into the meetings and the calls and stuff, because I know for me, if I had to choose a leader, I would want the one that seems like they are educated. They're trying to, wouldn't you agree that even at Presidential and Triple, that you're still learning things that you had no idea and you're still learning today?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's still some things that I'm just like, whoa, that's something new that I'm learning, or there's a different way to do things. And I think it's important to always be open-minded. Don't focus that, oh, this is the right way and this is the only way to do it. You're going to figure out what works best for you and your business. I love that you brought up the calls, because I remember when we first got started, we didn't really necessarily make it a priority to get on the corporate calls. I remember that. And, because we're like, oh, we got a lot going on and trying to work this. And I remember the time that we finally dedicated to each other, we're like, all right, we're getting on these calls. That I feel like in that point, it was probably sometime early fall, but it just helped our business boom, because it keeps you plugged in. It keeps filling up your cup. And especially, if you do live out of town, because I know the big team, there in Indy, they have meetings where it's local. But for me, being in Texas, plugging into calls or being able to watch the team meetings, that's an amazing opportunity to still keep in touch and keep filling my cup up, even though I'm not right there. And so I just think that that's really, really important, to keep making sure that you're plugging in with different events and all that kind of stuff. How did you go about reaching out? Did you start reaching out to just your family and friends, kind of your warm market, or how did you start working the business right away? Because I think, sometimes we're afraid of who do we message? Do we not? Do we wait for them to come to us? They're not liking anything. So what the heck?
I'm not going to lie here and sugarcoat everything. And so if I had to be really honest, if I could go back and do it differently, I would have. I would have gone to every friend, every family member, and I mean everyone, and said, just trust me. Mm-hmm. Give me your credit card, your debit card, $99, because I'm doing this. And what's sad is I knew that I was going to make this work for me, because I had no other choice but to make it work. Yeah. But I was so afraid of like bringing someone else into it that I really, other than a couple, good friends that I'd say that I kind of jokingly say they were crazy enough as like they're crazy like me, so I they'd do it. I wish I would have cold message. And it's so funny because Alyssa kept saying, and I don't say cold message so much as like strangers. I think that being thoughtful is going to get you way farther when it comes out, build that relationship. But your high school, middle school friends, if you played travel ball with them, if you're, teachers, whoever, I like your hundreds list. I told Alyssa, and she kept telling me, just do it. And I'm like, I don't know. And that's my biggest regret, is that I did not do that from the beginning. I do that now because, I'm headed to ambassador one way or another. That's how I'm getting there. And I know you have to follow the leaders. So that's exactly what I plan on doing.
Yeah. Because when we moved to Texas, I didn't have like a huge warm market necessarily right here. But what I did was I started messaging people. Now, granted, this was all before John Eric and being thoughtful. So I would literally be like, hey girl, have you heard of It Works? Not that it was the best thing to say, but it just at least started opening that conversation and that door. So I messaged a lot of people. I just, every single day I made it a goal to message 20 new people, and every single leader that you hear on calls or anything, they always talk about it's a numbers game. So if you're looking for people to sign up, and you have to keep adding that number, like you can't expect people to just keep coming to you. You have to be proactive and reach out to them, because had Alyssa not ever reached out to us, we would have never joined, or put that bug in our ear. So it may not mean that they're going to join right now, but it means that, somewhere down the road, they're going to end up coming on this adventure because you put that bug in their ear. So I really think, messaging people, especially, first and foremost, you can always start with your friends and family, but then keep growing your business each and every day. It just helps a lot. The other thing that I want to talk about for getting started, and I know Krista Hardebeck just posted a couple compensation videos. Sorry, I've got like mosquito bites from taking the dog out. I'm like, oh. But she posted a couple of videos about the compensation plan. So I know when we're first getting started, we're investing money in our own business. And so I also want to go back to that. I think it's important to make sure that you realize that you are a business owner when you join. It's not just some club that you joined and it's a lot of fun. Yes, it's a lot of fun, but it is a business and you have to take it seriously. So you also should take it seriously in knowing how you get paid, making sure that you either read through the compensation plan or watch a video. I watched the Jade Hooper video talking about the compensation plan. Find out, how you best learn. Like if it's reading and you're really green, you may love to, just read the compensation plan online. But if not, I think that will help you understand on how to build your team more effectively when you know how you're getting paid on that. And, I think that's one thing that if I was looking back, I would probably have dove into that a little bit more, figuring out exactly how do I get paid, because I think it would have defined how I build my business. Granted, it's all worked the way that it's supposed to work, but, I probably would have looked at different things differently and, working just to know the basics and the foundation. So I just think that that's super, super important. Why do you think, another thing that we always talk about for new distributors is posting why video? And I know that we kind of talked about this earlier today, but what do you think, or how do you think that really changed your business? Like making that why video or a why post, like if you're not quite ready to make a selfie video, like how do you think that really helps get people started?
To be really honest, I think the reason why it affected my business so much is before It Works came into my life, I would never have even posted a selfie. Literally, if you go pre-August of 14, if I get a new haircut or something, I may have put it on there. But other than that, if it was a picture of me, it was because Ty, my son, was in the picture. So I realized that if I would just come out of my comfort zone and do something that no one is expecting to see, they're going to stop and watch, because they weren't expecting to see me post a video of myself talking, because people know that I was shy, And so the other reason why I think it's so important is, I can post a picture of my family or giving back or, my dream board all day long, and I can write. But to be honest, I mean, I'm not saying ever, but those long-winded posts, some people just keep scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
But if that video has something that they're like, oh my gosh, what does she have to say? And I feel like it comes from the heart. You have no option but to be real with someone. You just have to while you're doing it. And for me, I truly feel like I had some people join me to support me. I had some people purchase from me to support me. And
Mm-hmm.
so I know if I would not have posted the why video and just explaining why I'm doing this, people would not have taken me so seriously.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's a respect level too. I think when you reach that point in your business and you make that why video and you put it out there, because I mean, no matter what job you get into or career you get into, you're dedicated and you're doing that for a reason, and you always are talking about it. Like, that's why I went into the nursing field. I told everybody why I wanted to be a nurse. So it's the exact same thing as why I joined this business, and I think it's also a respect level that people can, get on that level and respect you for posting and working your business and being consistent and blowing up their news feeds. So I think that I've had a lot of people that, they may never become a customer or anything like that, but they always will message me and say, I appreciate how you run your business. I appreciate how you're doing things and putting it out there like that. That's tough to do, and so it is definitely scary, but I think it's a huge confidence builder. It's amazing to me that a year later, we're even doing this kind of video hangout for, hundreds of people to watch. Like, that is insane to me because I would have never done this before. So just crazy. Another thing to talk about, like, with family and friends kind of supporting you. One of the ways that somebody was saying that they reach out, like, don't be afraid to ask your family or your close friends, like, hey, do me a favor by supporting me in this business. A lot of people are willing to help you get started. So I think sometimes the friends and the family can be the scariest ones to reach out to. But I think if you put it in the fact of like, hey, I have this new business adventure, like, please support me in this. And can you do me a favor by trying a wrap or, being one of my product testers, and help your family and your friends fall in love with the products and the business. That was another note that I had. Sorry, I backtracked a little bit.
I can say one thing about that.
Yeah.
With like messaging family, I think if I would do the math, it's literally like over 50 cousins. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And only one is on this journey with me. And I've been doing this a year.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get discouraged if family and friends don't jump on this journey with you. They will eventually. And I know I'm going to have more. And so, don't think because, your close family or your close friends do not want a piece of the pie. They will eventually. I can promise you that.
Oh yeah, I definitely. I mean, my mom was, and I hope she's watching because she was one of the biggest ones. She was one of my biggest skeptics, and she always supported me, but she was always kind of hesitant at the same time. And then, I was shocked when she said, hey, I really want to join this business with you back in June. I was like, are you kidding? Like, this is amazing. But, it takes time. At that point I was 11 months in, and she finally said, okay, I've been watching you long enough. Like, I'm ready to do this myself. So, don't give up on them. Like Brittney said, what else do you do to help get somebody kind of started, like as far as launch parties or anything else that you do specifically?
Personally, I will say I have from the beginning done launch parties.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like even though everyone should take all this advice that we are giving them, some people don't. Some people don't get started until they get their kit. They don't get started until they feel like they know all the information.
Yeah.
And so by doing the launch parties, I feel like at the party, they get to sit back and watch me, do the whole thing so that they feel comfortable to do any distributors launch parties,
Yeah.
And, people are going to sign. I think now I've signed like personally a couple out of state people, and obviously I can't launch all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing the online. So I would say like gold standard is to have a launch party.
Yeah.
But your second option would be to do an online party. And the reason I feel like that's so beneficial is usually people walk away with, at minimum, they feel more comfortable with the products. They've heard testimonies from me that I have gained in the last 12 months. But
Yeah.
aside from that, they usually walk away with a few loyal customers and closer to their 120 and free product.
Oh yeah. I mean, for me, like a lot of my team, well, I mean, now we're growing here in Texas, but you know,
Yes.
it's kind of spread out. And so when I first got started, I had my own launch party. And so, you know, stressing that, but I love online parties. They have been really successful for me, and it's just, you know, like an hour to an hour and a half of just kind of giving brief bits of information. But a lot of times that helps people, and you can kind of even reach out to a bigger market too, you know, of other people, but giving them little bits of pieces of information that, you know, because a lot of people just get so wrapped around that we only have the wrap, you
Yep.
know, and so showing them what else this business can either with products or the business opportunity, making money, all that kind of stuff, you're able to show them that and kind of give them a big overview in just a short period of time. So I love online parties. I think that they're a lot of fun. And so I've been having, you know, a lot of my team, if they aren't like nearby, then we're doing an online party. And I think that that's a really good way. You can help answer questions, but you're also letting them do some of the work too, and getting comfortable with posting things. I know, like Jocelyn was talking about last night, you know, that I think you kind of find your niche. Like some people love hosting parties and working their business that way, like Cami Dempsey and Denise Walsh and Kay Souter, like they love that. But other people, you know, they really like being in front of that many people gives them anxiety, you know, person face to face. And so having that online party kind of is a buffer in between, you know, a good medium. So that way, if you feel like that something like that is going to work best for you, then I would definitely try it over not doing anything. You know, I think having some type of launch party, whether it's online or in person, is crucial to your business, especially within your first 30 days. Super, super, super important. So that kind of leads me into, we'll go ahead and start with the steps to success for everyone. I forgot it printed in 2 pages. So steps to success. This tool is really important. Anytime that you're hearing any of the leaders, you know, talk about anything or at conference or green carpet, they're always talking about how they've been successful with filling out the steps to success and using this as their guideline. And so, you know, when we talk about the importance of that first 30 days, you know, the 4 loyal customers is what's going to give you that $120 in free product in your first 30 days. So first step is obviously joining the party. Can you read that? I'm holding it right.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure because it's backwards for me.
Yeah.
120 in free product is step 2. So, and then it also, for each of your 2 loyal customers that you're getting, you also get what they call a wrap reward or applicator reward. And that's where you can purchase a box of wraps for $25 instead of the discounted price that we have for distributors that's $59. So that gives you a lot more bang for your buck. So if you're thinking about that and you've got the 4 wraps in this box, that's another $100 in your pocket, as well as that second $100. So you have the potential to make another $200 on top of just your wrap rewards. And that's not even including commissions or different bonuses and things like that. So filling out the steps to success is really, really important. The third step is going Ruby. And I'll kind of let you start on this if you want to, Britt. But, you know, going Ruby, especially now that we have the Ruby bonus, is an amazing thing. You know, I really wanted to post a video about this. I still work at the hospital. And we got a big email and we got a piece of pie today because our bonus for the entire year was $186.93. And I was like, this is insane that we have the opportunity to get a $500 bonus. I just want you to think about how amazing that is, because I've been at the hospital for a long time, which is a big corporation, and you'd think that they'd be bringing in all this money in profit, but yet my bonus was $186. So you have the potential to make a lot of money. So we'll kind of start talking about the Ruby bonus and charting for Ruby and how important that is.
Absolutely. And here's what's funny. I mean, when we got started, they didn't have the Ruby bonus.
Nope.
So, you know, it's so funny that I can truly say that this company keeps putting things out there to make you start making money from day one if you're willing to work for it. So I always say, you know, don't look ahead too much. You got to make sure you're at the first rank first. But the first rank in the company is going to be executive. That is where you have two distributors placed under, you know, underneath you. And then obviously you get to the Ruby chart. So with the Ruby, instead of having 2 on your top line, now you have 3. I mean, that could be your boyfriend, girlfriend, you know, your cousins, your sisters, friends. It literally could be people you know, if you go get it and say, just trust me, let's do this together. And then when it comes time to building your second layer, what's going to happen is you are going to have one of those top 3. They just have to have 2 distributors right directly underneath them. And it really doesn't matter which one it is. You know, technically, if you think about it, you're working towards Ruby. So if you set up your team, you know, you're personally enrolled and you train them the way that your leader is training you, they should be working towards their Ruby chart as well. So the next thing you know, you have 5 distributors underneath you, and you've now filled your Ruby chart. So the other thing that I wanted to mention is, you know, on these charts, you'll find them in your document library under, you know, document library, and you'll type in just executive and it'll pull up all the charts. And so one of the things you're going to notice when you pull up the chart is they all say that it's 400 GV, okay? And so I usually go over with my team. GV is pretty much the same thing as BV. It's kind of like a point system. And so the question I get all the time is, how many customers does that distributor have to get to 400 GV? And my answer to that is, it just depends on what their customers are purchasing. You know, if you have quite a few loyals that are going to do the triple threat, it's only going to take a couple loyal customers. If you have more that are just purchasing fat fighters, it's going to take more. So that's why it's so important to train your team, that you're going to, you know, when you sign someone, tell them, you bust your booty and you go get your 4 loyal customers, because you want to earn the 120 in free product. Now, I'm going to kind of jump away from the Ruby chart real quick, and then I want you to touch base on what you think is important. But back on the steps to success, the reason why, to me, the reason why that 120 in free product is so important is, to me, is for 2 reasons. If you're like me, I truly did not have the money to probably do this business, but that was why I needed to do this business. Okay. So the way I look at it is, you have 2 ways to spend that 120 in free product. You can purchase product yourself so that you can show some results, or like me, you can purchase wraps or facials for, you know, you didn't pay anything for it, and then you pocketed $200 that then helps you pay for your 80 BV auto shipment. And that was huge. And that's why I always tell people, I know you have 30 days to get those 4, but if you can get them today, the day you start, or you can get them the first week, you're better off, because that's the sooner you're going to get that 120 in free product. And then that product will get to you and you can sell it before maybe your next auto shipment run. So, and then go ahead and take over the Ruby and add what, you know, kind of where I left off.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's exactly what, you know, with the 4 loyals that I did, I, you know, sold all my wraps for the $200 in profit. And so till this day, I've never paid anything out of pocket, you know, because I've made all my money back with the starter kit. But with the Ruby chart, you know, looking at it, if you're teaching your team, because you're the top 3, this is what we call the top line. If you're teaching your team, if you're teaching, I'm like, what are you going to say? If you're teaching your team to do the exact same thing as what we're telling you, you know, teaching them to fill out the steps to success, you're going to think about, this person right here is working to get their 2 or 3 people because they're working to fill out their Ruby chart. This person right here is working to do the exact same thing. This person right here is working to do the exact same thing. If you look at, I have a diamond chart, but it's not colored. If you look at a diamond chart, I'm sorry about this print. So if you look at it, where's my finger? Ruby, Ruby, Ruby. So Ruby is the foundation for this business. Achieving the Ruby level is an amazing, amazing promotion. And so if you're looking at that diamond chart, you know, don't get yourself overwhelmed initially, but, you know, having that goal, if that's really where, you know, when you're looking at the income chart and you're saying, this is really what could help my family, know that if you're teaching all these people to do the same thing and building rubies and working their business in the exact same way, that's how you're going to end up building yourself to diamond, because you have those 3 people working for their ruby. So it's really important. A lot of times I always get the question, you know, what's more important, loyal customers or distributors? And I say both. You can't build your business without one or the other. So, you know, you have to, just because you can get charted for Ruby does not mean that you're necessarily Ruby. You have to obtain that volume. So I think what I've heard in the past is the average customer typically orders the skinny pack. So that's like 80 BV. So you're looking at about 5, maybe 6 customers. But it's really, like Brittney said, it's really dependent on what your customers are ordering. Again, you know, this is really, really simple. Don't overthink it. Don't overwhelm yourself. You know, just keep it basic, keep it simple, but always have it kind of out there as what you want to set goals for yourself, and making sure that the goals, they're a little bit out of reach, but they're also obtainable. You want to push yourself, but, you know, don't make it too insane where you're letting yourself down. You know, like, I love what Krista said on one of the calls like a couple months ago. She talked about, you know, instead of thinking about 4 loyal customers every month for the steps to success, she breaks it into weeks. I'm going to sign 1 customer this week, 1 customer next week, 1 customer the 3rd week. You know, not making it so overwhelming, because a lot of times when we think about, oh my gosh, 4 customers, you know, we can get really worked up about that. So if we break it up into little goals that are achievable each week, you're going to have a lot of success that way. So that's kind of pretty much the steps to success. Is there anything else that you want to add to this, Brittney? Kind of, I think, you know, we kind of gave a big overview, a good starting point, and then we'll just kind of end with some closing comments.
Absolutely. And, you know, this is something that I wasn't going to talk about, but I just feel like it's something that, you know, if you're on this, that means you care enough to be listening to this right now. Because to be honest, the way I look at it is the people that stay plugged in are the ones that really, really want it. So I'm just going to be honest right now. Don't expect everyone that comes on this journey with you to want it as much as you do. Okay. So the one thing that I finally had to listen to was build it right and build it tight. So what I mean by is, that doesn't mean, they always talk about you're going to have some runners in this company. You're going to have, you know, the walkers, and you're going to have the sitters. That's just part of it. But, you know, you never know who. To this day, Alyssa will say, man, I knew you were going to be good, but I didn't know you were going to go build your own, you know, triple diamond chart. Like, you know, you just don't know who's going to do it. So, you know, I always say there's a place for everybody. But when it comes to, you know, run with your runners. And it's okay. I personally think you can walk with your walkers, you know, and I always say when you sign someone, what I like to do is say, you know, why are you doing this? I want to know where you want to be, because I want to match your effort. If you just want executive, that's awesome. I can tell you how to get there. But if you want diamond, okay, but you better be ready, because I'm going to tell you exactly what it's going to take to get there. And then I'm going to help you every step of the way. So I just think that doing that with your own business helps a ton.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think I love what you always say, you know, there's wanters and there's workers. You know, everybody wants to be on that stage and earning 500,000 plus a year. But it's really dependent on how bad you want it and how much you're willing to work for it. You know, both of us, we worked full time pretty much through the bulk of our last year in this business. And so, you know, there's no excuses. There's a lot of things that sometimes I think it can be overwhelming, because you don't want to get too wrapped up where you're not taking time for yourself or your family. But you also have to know that if you want it bad enough and what you're willing to work for to help your family in the long run, sometimes there's little things that you can sacrifice along the way. You know, if it's taking 30 minutes to an hour to go meet with a potential distributor, you know, think about the benefit that that's going to have for you and your family in the long run. You know, having that residual income and adding and working to build your business. Also know that it doesn't happen overnight. This is not where you start and then you wake up the next day and I'm Ruby and I earned that $500 bonus. It doesn't work like that. You have to make sure that you're consistent. And I always think it's really important that you stay positive. First thing that I did when I started in the business is I went through my Facebook and I unfollowed any person that ever posted anything negative. You know, so if I hear on the team pages or anything like that, that people are like, well, how do I handle this? Because somebody made a negative comment. I don't see any of that stuff. I literally have nothing negative on my page because I don't fill it with that. So you're not going to have to worry about those people that are making comments like, oh, something about it works. I never see them because I unfollow them. So you don't need that in your life. Even if when you're just getting started, like, you just need to keep filling your cup up and have that positivity. This business and the people that are on our team are amazing. And it's amazing how much you can grow in such a little bit of time, but also surrounding yourself with positive people, like how much that can affect your day to day and how much better you're going to feel about yourself. So, take advantage of that stuff, but also know that, it's not going to happen overnight, but if you're willing to work for it and really, want it to change your family's life, it can happen. But also don't be unrealistic in saying, oh, I want to do, like, I really want to be triple diamond, but you're not willing to put in the work for it. It's a lot of time and effort and, reaching out to your team and being a leader and different things. And, you have to be willing to work for that. The other thing I want to add too is, I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? I don't remember.
I have one thing to say.
I forgot.
One of the things I like to say, or it was actually like a quote that I saw, and it said something along the lines of, do what you have to do today so that you can do what you want to do tomorrow. And this isn't to discourage you, but it's kind of to be like, how bad do you want it? There were many times that I had to miss a couple family events so that, because I already had a lunch party scheduled, and then middle of that week they say, hey, we're having a birthday party for so and so on Sunday. Well, I already had a launch party, and so I would miss that. And so and sometimes Matt would get up in the morning at 5:30 in the morning, and I'd be sitting on the couch over here, and he'd be like, you haven't moved, have you been to bed? And I'm like, nope. And that was actually when I was going triple. I'm like, it was like the middle of the month, and I'm like, I'm doing whatever it takes to go triple. And if that meant not sleeping, but I'll tell you what, missing family events here or there, I know that's, we're doing this so that maybe some of us are doing it so you can spend time with your family. Well, you know what? I'm going to be able, because of Tiffany Herr says it perfect. She said, the thing about residual income is not that you should do this, but once you have it built up, you can pretty much take a month vacation if you want to, because you're still getting paid. Mm-hmm. So let's say I missed 5 family events in 12 months. Well, guess what? One day I'm going to be taking my son and my husband to Disney World, paid for cash, and get 7 days with him that I would never have gotten if it weren't for, putting in and day out, setting my alarm, because like you just said, you still work full time, and I did until June. Mm-hmm. So I just recently went part-time, and I sometimes I hate when I see people, mention that they don't have time to post. Get up 5 minutes earlier. I always told myself, I have to post before I go to work. I have to post on my lunch break, and I at least have to post before I go to bed. Now, on a good day, you'd see me blast out 7 posts because I was having a good day. But, some days I'm like, how can I tell my team to post 3 to 5 times a day if their own leader is not? And so just remember, from the day you start and you have no loyal customers and no distributors, get ready, because the second you have one person, I don't care if it's a loyal or a distributor, you have no choice but to be a leader. Yeah. Because that loyal customer needs you. And, I think I've personally enrolled somewhere like maybe like a little over 50 distributors in my year. I think the last time I did the math, it was like maybe 18 of them started as loyal customers. Mm-hmm. So take care of your loyals, because they're going to turn into that. So what else did you want to touch base on?
Well, I was just going to say, kind of along the lines of, like knowing what you want to do, but also like when you are like really serious about building to Ruby, being a leader is not about sitting there and telling people what to do and getting in management mode. It's really, you're working your business and you're showing, there's no way that we would have built our business without doing the work and showing people what we're doing, so we fill out our steps to success every month. We're out there talking with people and signing loyal customers, and not just sitting back here eating bonbons. It's important make sure, leadership is not necessarily about motivating people, and it's not about sitting there and telling them what to do. It's about showing how you should run your business. And so that's really what, I think you and I can pride ourselves on, is we've done that since day one. And that's what can help you step into the leadership role, and also making sure that, you are working your business and doing it effectively. So,
Absolutely.
hell. God. He goes, you don't even know what a bonbon is.
That's so funny. He's so funny. What else do you think that we need to touch on for the new ones?
I think it's just, if there's one piece of advice I would say, make sure that find whatever your niche is, whether it's posting on social media or you're out there talking to people, like, make sure that you're doing it. You can't just sit there and keep saying, oh, I want all this, and you get into it and you don't do anything. Like, of course you're not going to be successful because you're not even working your business. Find out what your niche is, whether it's on social media and posting or talking to people or, doing events, whatever works for you, do it and run with it, and just don't look back, just keep going.
Yep. I wanted to say one more thing before we wrap up here, because I think one of the questions that I get is, what do I post when I get started? Like, what kind of things? And I always say follow the leaders. And by a leader, that does not mean that it's a certain rank. Just find someone that that's doing it, works, that you think has it figured out, and kind of follow them. So, before and afters are great, but make sure they're before and afters that look good, that they're clear, that they don't look Photoshop, because, the nature of the beast is people are trying to pick it apart. So don't give them any reason to pick it apart. Things that look nice and cropped, wording, positivity, just follow the leaders, find, and even if if you're watching right now and you're like, well, I don't know, I'm so new, I don't know who to follow, send me a message and say, who do you recommend that I kind of watch? And I'll give you a list. Because I have no doubt that's how I got here, was I literally followed the leaders. Now I made it myself. I would watch Alyssa and Tiffany and, couple of the other girls, and I would be saying, like, they'd make a post about what the income was doing for them. Well, at the time I was making like $25 off a wrap, so I couldn't go buy a crazy purchase, but I showed purchased a pizza, because some people can't purchase pizza. I promise you, I was there. So don't be afraid to show your adventure, no matter how big or how small it is.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's, I always like to say, when you're starting out, when you're posting about things, and, we talk about freedom, fun, and friendship, post about those things. Because, of course, the financial portion, when you get long in the business and you're really working it, that part you are going to be able to share that. But when you're first getting started, you can talk about how much fun you're having, with parties or talking to customers, or, meeting with your team members, or, just the freedom that you're having, if it works is allowing you to, pay for gas or pizza, like you said, share those little, I always say, share those little accomplishments, because somebody out there is watching your story, and that little thing is going to resonate with them, just similar to like before and afters, making sure that you kind of switch up your before and afters each and every day, and making sure that, if you're doing somebody with blonde hair, do somebody with brunette hair, or switch to a guy or whatever, make it different, because everybody's going to relate to you at some point, because they're going to look at your picture and be like, oh, that looks just like me. That's crazy. I need that. So making sure that you switch it up, and also, be thoughtful in your wording, and making sure, read through it again and make sure, okay, is this something, if I put this out there, is this how I want to be approached, or would this make me interested in it? I think a lot of times we get so busy and just texting really quick, but like, make sure you're rereading your posts and making sure that they are, thoughtful, and also in a way that it would intrigue you as well. So anything else that you want to add?
The only thing I want to add, and that I wish I would have done in the beginning that I didn't find out about, is this business truly, aside from, working, putting in the effort, it's all right here. Some people probably watching are like, no, it's not. I promise you it is. It's mindset. I'm just a very real and honest person. I probably could be sitting at presidential right now if I wouldn't have a few months ago gotten the mindset of, and it wasn't that I was content, but I just was kind of, I got in that mode of like the everyday grind. And so I kind of lost track, And so, for me, I work better telling myself, I'm going triple, I'm going presidential, and it almost claimed it. So for those of you guys that haven't heard about it, get on YouTube, or, if you just want to listen to it while you're getting ready to go to bed, and just look up The Secret. And I can promise you, if you let this much negative in your mind, I don't care if it's, let's even say you're having, you see a post that's kind of negative about It Works, and you text one of your It Works friends and says, oh my gosh, did you see what she said? You're going to bring more negative to you. That's just the way the universe works. So if you think positive all the time, I can do this, I will do this, and nothing and no one will stand in my way. And it's not even conceited, but literally, like I'm looking right now, all along my entertainment center, it says, I'll lead my team to the top. I am presidential diamond, and I am top 75 money earner. Well, obviously I didn't get top 75, but you better best believe that I was working towards it, and I'm going to be there next year. So I'm not defeated that I didn't get there. It's all in your mind. So be positive and just honestly, just go get it.
Yeah, I love that. So, well, that is all we have for everyone tonight. We hope you learned a little something. And, again, if you need help on anything or have questions about anything that we talked about, please let us know. And we hope you all have a great rest of the night. And we will talk to you all soon.
We made it. Hey, see ya.